Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachaha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopefully elect. It's the brother Isaiah with the Pittsburgh GMS camp, coming at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachaha Kodash. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. Let me restart this video. I want to hit playing on this video. All right. And I'm going to get some scriptures. Okay. He said he found 2 pennies in his lab coat. Let's hit play. All right. Shalom. This is that particular clip I was speaking about. It had over 9 million views or so. As you can see, okay, he's just talking about how the new pennies have a high percentage of zinc inside of them. They're not pure copper. That one is. That's why it didn't melt. All right. All right. So, you know what this sparked me of, what this reminded me of through the spirit. All right. This reminded me of the ancient Roman Empire and something similar that happened then. And I'm going to start off with this precept, Revelation 13. And let's see here. Start at, yeah. Revelation 13 and 11. Okay. It says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Okay? So this first beast is spoken of in Daniel, the 7th chapter. When you go to Daniel 7, okay, the beast that was before him was actually the 4th beast. Okay? The 4th beast, right? Which we know represents the ancient Roman Empire. Okay? Let's see here. Daniel 7:7 says, and after this, I saw in the night visions, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. Okay? So this beast, okay, was received a wound. Okay, it was taken down. All right? It was taken down for a time. Okay? But it is now revived, okay, which is why in Revelation 13 you see where it says, okay, in 13 and verse 12, okay, which we just read, he's causing the earth to worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed. And we'll explain a little bit more of how he's doing this, okay, how the beast is doing this. But let's read a little bit, okay, about something that happened in the Roman Empire, just to kind of show you, because this, you know, everything we do is spiritual. All right. And you have people who don't believe. Okay. But, you know, well, so what? Their unbelief is not going to make the word without effect. Okay. Let's get that. And then we'll get into that article. Right. Romans 3 and 3. I'll just read it here. It says, but what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? And let's see the answer to this. Okay. It says, God forbid. Yea, let the Most High be true, but every man a liar. I say the Most High where it says God, because God is not the, you know, it's just a title. But every man a liar, as it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings and mightest overcome when thou art judged. Right. So we're going to rely on what Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, who the word English calls God and Jesus Christ. We're going to rely on what they say. Romerican Standard says, for what if some were without faith? Shall their want of faith make of none effect the faithfulness of the Most High? Okay. You know, let's just see what it says. Continuing. This is God. Wait. Still saying, God forbid. Oh no. Well, it still says it. Yeah, God forbid. Yea, let God be found true, but every man a liar, as it is written. Okay. And it continues pretty much to say the same thing. And then we'll look at the let's see. Young's literal translation. For what if certain were faithless? Shall their faithlessness, the faithfulness of God, make useless? That's so interesting, man, how they worded that. Let it not be, and let God become true, and every man false, according as it has been written, that thou mayest be declared righteous in thy words and mayest overcome in thy being judged. All right, so let's go here to this article, right? And kind of all over the place. So, Lord willing, this is an edifying lesson, but let's read about the denarius. It says Vespasian devalued the denarius, which I'm going to go straight to this article, right? Let's do the picture one first, right? Let's do this picture one because I feel like it has more impact. Currency and the collapse of the Roman Empire. It says Roman debasement. Now, this is one of the ways in which America is a mirror image, okay, of the ancient Roman Empire. It says the major silver coin used during the first 220 years of the empire was the denarius, or the dinar. This coin, between the size of a modern nickel and dime, was worth approximately a day's wage for a skilled laborer or craftsman. During the first days, these coins were of high purity, holding about 4.5 grams of pure silver. However, with the finite supply of silver and gold entering the empire, Roman spending was limited by the amount of denarii that could be minted. This made financing the pet projects of emperors challenging. Roman officials, how was the newest war, blah, 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 and circuses to be paid for? Roman officials found a way to work around this. Okay, so it went from 90% silver to 50% silver. It says by decreasing the purity of their coinage, they were able to make more silver coins, quote unquote, with the same face value. Does that sound familiar? Because right now, because we used to have a gold standard, all right, and what do we have now? Okay, we have fiat currency. We have paper that's worthless. Okay, it's literally worthless. All right, except for the picture that's on there, representing America. Okay, which that's worthless too. Okay, with more coins in circulation, the government could spend more. It's inflation, the same thing that's happening here, man. Inflation, hyperinflation of the currency. And so the content of silver dropped over the years. Silver content of a Roman denarius went all the way down during Claudius II. Let's read it. By the time of Marcus Aurelius, the denarius was only about 75% silver. Caracalla tried a different method of debasement. He introduced the double denarius, which was worth 2 times the denarius in face value. However, it had only the weight of 1.5 denarii. By the time of Gallienus, the coins had barely 5% silver. Each coin was a bronze core with a thin coating of silver. The shine quickly wore off to reveal the poor quality underneath. You see? And that's exactly what this dude just showed. That's what he just showed. Let's watch it again. As you can see, which I don't care about the second half of it. So, as you can see, this is the exact same mirror image of what was going on back then. I mean, it's not zinc, but you know what I mean? They're devaluing, and there's just a thin layer, okay, of the actual metal, which is supposed to be copper. There's a thin layer of it on the outside, okay? Consequences. The real effects of debasement took time to materialize. Adding more coins of poorer quality into circulation did not help increase prosperity. It just transferred wealth away from the people. And it meant that more coins were needed to pay for goods and services. And eventually that's what's going to happen, man. That's what you already see happening. Eggs have more than doubled in price. Okay? Eggs are 100%. There's 100% inflation on eggs, and that's one of the expensive things. When we saw that video of the brother, whoever it was out there in Jamaica that posted the video, where we saw it was like $800 for some grocery items, some breakfast items. It was like eggs, butter, milk. It was like a few different. I forget what they bought, but it wasn't shit, and it was just hella. It cost so much money, and that's what's gonna happen. Okay, here in America, Babylon the Great, so that they can go ahead and get rid of the physical coin and make it a digital currency. At times, there was runaway inflation in the empire. For example, soldiers demanded far higher wages as the quality of coins diminished. Nobody should have any money but I, so that I may bestow it upon the soldiers, Caracalla, okay, who raised soldiers to pay by 50%. By 265 AD, when there was only zero point 0.5 silver left in the denarius, prices skyrocketed 1,000% across the Roman Empire. Only barbarian mercenaries were to be paid in gold. Wow. The soaring logistical and admin cost, no precious metals left to plunder from enemies. Romans levied more and more taxes against the people to sustain the empire. Yep. Hyperinflation, soaring taxes, and worthless money created a trifecta that dissolved much of Rome's trade. The economy was paralyzed. And you see that happening now. By the end of the third century, any trade that was left was mostly local, using inefficient barter methods instead of meaningful medium of exchange. During the crisis of the third century, it's a good article. And I didn't even read all of this, before I did the video. So I'm just reading this now. So Salakia, most of these were murdered, assassinated. Empire was in a free-for-all, and it split into 3 separate states. Barbarian invasions came in from every direction. Plague was rampant. Trade networks were disintegrated, and such activities became too dangerous. And these are okay. Now this is going into all right, basically the different wars that was going on. It looks like, and in the scriptures talk about in Daniel 2, Salakia, because I've been doing a lot of reading here. Go to Daniel 2. Talks about a statue, right? Nebuchadnezzar had a dream of a statue, right? And when you go down to, let me make sure, boom, images of the head was gold. All right, we're going to get to the legs. Verse Daniel 2:33 says, his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay. Okay, and so that's speaking of the feet of the statue, and it's broken down right here, right? Daniel 2:40 says, and the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron. This is the same fourth beast that was spoken of in Daniel 7. For as much as iron breaketh in pieces and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these shall it break in pieces and bruise. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. And so this happened in the Roman Empire, okay, and it's coming back to pass now. All right, where America's divided, okay, much like ancient Roman Empire was divided. You had the Visigoths, the Vandals, the Huns. You had these different factions that was fighting, okay. Coin debasement and inflation helped to lead to the demise of the Western Roman Empire, which would cease to exist by 476 AD. And this is part of that wound, okay, that beast had that deadly wound, okay. See, Revelation 13 and 12, and he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed. You see. And that part of that is in verse 11, where it says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. So the 2 horns represent the 2-party system that they have here in America, Babylon the Great. But this was not the first place to implement a 2-party democratic system. Okay, the first place to implement it, or the place that's famous for it. Okay, let's see, democracy in Rome. Let's see what comes up. Says it's never a true democracy. Democracy in ancient Rome was never a true democracy. It was a system that was surely controlled by the rich and noble. And it's the same thing today. You niggas talking about vote. That shit your vote don't fucking matter here, dog. It's the same thing as it was back then. That's why I said in Revelation, okay, that he had 2 horns as a lamb and spake as a dragon, because it seemed to look like a democracy. It seemed to look like you got a chance, but that shit's controlled, dog. Okay, so like you for my language, man, but it's the same thing, man. In a democracy, all the people have an equal say, not just the rich. It's the same. It's not like that. It never was set up to be that way. In Rome, the rich had the first say on what was happening in the government, and then only with the time did poor have some say. Yeah, man, it's pretty much the same here, man. Okay, so 2 horns is a lamb, spake as a dragon. Okay, and how is okay, and he causeth them which dwell therein to worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed, back in Revelation 13. How is he causing everybody to worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed? Because a lot of these countries, if they don't subscribe to to democracy, he kills them. He comes, he kills them. He comes, he kills their leaders. He comes, he puts oppression on them. And he puts his leader in there, and he forces democracy on them. Okay, that's how he does it. And he doeth great wonders, so that he make a fire come down from heaven on the earth inside of men. And America did that first with the what was it, the atomic bomb, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Okay, so it seemed like a good article, currency and the collapse of the Roman Empire. There's a lot of information on here. Okay, and this is just appears to be the Money Project aims to do. The Money Project will look at the evolving nature of money and will try to answer difficult questions to prevent us from truly understanding the role that money plays, blah, blah, blah. All right. So that's pretty much it. You know what I'm saying? I just want to go into that real quick. The Most High shows us through these different examples how that his word is true. Lord willing, you were edified. Okay. Just like in the Roman Empire, the currency was devalued. The precious metals were just simply a coating rather than the full copper that it used to be. And same thing happened with the silver in the Roman Empire. This is Rome 2.0, and it will meet the same fate as Rome and will be destroyed. Call Halayim La, meaning all praises to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Ruach Double honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the whole fleet elect. With that, I pray you were edified. Shalom.